Okay, Coach, go ahead and give us your thoughts overall in the game.
Yeah, just one of those games we had to find a way. It was kind of choppy, a little bit different, but we felt like we could keep kind of hitting the paint, and we knew that that transition was going to be very important, and rebounding and those type of things. I thought we, found our way in those areas. We were +5 on the glass and +4 with turnovers, and that was something that we were really focusing on.
So, Coach, you're also down going into half. What kind of adjustments and changes did you make going into there?
I mean, reality is we didn't do a whole lot different. We just were kind of maybe a half a step slow that first half, and I think we just needed to kind of get our rhythm going a little bit, and squeeze the ball and push and kind of get back to our style of play. And I thought these guys did a great job leading out there. We got our intensity on the defensive end back up, which was huge for us. And but it was, these 5 threes were huge, and obviously Spurs were getting 5 blotch shots. It was, I thought, a real difference maker in the paint.
Okay. You guys, like you said, with turnovers, you had plus 4 in the turnovers. That led to +11 in points off of turnovers, and that was big, especially like you said, fast breaks as well. How did you kind of get that going because of just kind of how sluggish you guys were in the first half compared?
Yeah, we just turned it up. When we get stops and forced turnovers, we turn them into points very quickly. And that's when we're at our best. And I got to give them credit. They kind of matched our tempo. They pushed and got out too. And it's a game with 140 field goal attempts. And 182 points scored between the two teams. And so from a tempo standpoint, it didn't disappoint.
Coach, I mean, just like you said, a lot of attempts and points, but it looked like this game going into the first half was a very defensive-minded game. Both teams playing tight. Was that something you were expecting?
I mean, we knew we were both two downhill attacking teams, and I thought the first half was, was just kind of who could kind of force a couple more turnovers and take care of the ball, or rebound a little bit more than the other team, and that was kind of the difference.
Spurge, obviously a very, very big game for you. Had a bunch of blocks, had 18 points, but you did foul out. You're only a sophomore, but you've started to become a leader in this team and a real person like that. What kind of things were you telling to your teammates to stay in the game? Because it was very intense, very emotional.
Yeah, definitely the emotions were high between plays, and I think just having little messages for different teammates of like, well, I need a deflection in this play, just making them focus on that one specific play instead of worrying about what just happened, just refocusing them on what's happening right now. And I think they trust me enough to give them advice, and they take it on board, and you can sometimes see the changes, and it's fun to see them actually lock in and get enjoyment out of that, and then just start rolling again, and that's how the team does. Once we all start going, it's pretty hard to stop us.
And I have a question for you, Ted. You went 5 of 7 from 3 tonight, but you had 2 big threes down the stretch to like push you guys back into contention, to push it to overtime. What was the big thing coming in for you coming in that second half? Like, what were you looking to do for your team? And
Yeah, in the first half, I was kind of settling a little bit. And so once I started to attack, it kind of opened up, the shot fakes, and they were kind of playing my drive. So in the second half, that kind of, opened up the 3-point shot, and I was able to knock it down.
Coach, I mean, obviously opening up with 2 WAC wins, it's a good statement to start with. What are you looking forward to down the stretch with the WAC play?
Yeah, I mean, there's no nights off. I mean, this thing's going to be an absolute grind. Every team is good, and so we've got to find consistency and just be who we are in every game, and I think that's going to be good enough for us to have good results.
Coach, Drake Allen had 10 assists tonight with a double-double. Can you just talk about his vision on the floor and the unselfish mindset he plays with?
Yeah, and fortunately, like the chess match of it, we had pieces that they're trying to take away with Tev and moving him around as a tag guy, and Jason and Mason did a great job, setting screens, slipping out of them, kind of creating some confusion to give Drake those passing lanes. And to his credit, he did. He found guys, found shooters, found roles, and orchestrated it.
And then again for you, Coach, you had both D Barnes and Martell come off the bench, and they both played like big defensive minutes. Although it doesn't show up on the stat sheet, like how important is that for you to have two guys like that off the bench for you?
Yeah, they're both energy guys, spark guys, and I think you saw that. They both came in. Martell, we had some foul trouble, but we just needed kind of someone just to go, do what he does. I mean, this dude's a bowling ball, just knocking everyone over in there, and he got 5 and 3 in 7 minutes, and kind of got some life on the glass a little bit for us in that presence, and D obviously. Gets on that break and runs and gets stops, and he did a nice job.
Coach, all 5 starters in double digits tonight. That's pretty impressive. It doesn't happen very often. But you alluded to it before. That's that chess match. What would you say about this team as far as spreading that ball around? Is that something that they have focused on all year?
Well, we were a very difficult matchup. In a lot of ways, we got multiple skill guys, and you can't just play off of anybody, and so that makes this group special. And the way they shared the ball this year is probably as good as any group we've had here. They really trust each other, and the next one's in. They want guys to be aggressive, and I think that was part of how that you get 5 guys in double figures.
I have another one. Coach, they had a couple of guys that go deep. 25 and 31 points for number 1 and number 4, Johnson and Johnston. Was that something you saw on film, that those guys were going to kind of control their offense?
There's no question. They're the heavy shot takers, and we just wanted to make sure those points were close to their shots. They had to take 47 shots between the two of them, and we knew they would be aggressive, and next time around, we'd probably do a few things a little differently and try to take some of them away a little bit. But a big emphasis was make sure that we didn't have other guys get going, but to their credit, those guys can really score.
Coach, also, pretty good crowd for New Year's Day. There's all kinds of other stuff going on, and we had a great crowd. Do you feel like that played a factor today?
Yeah, I thought it got loud in there. I thought, we get out on the break and we get some of those lob dunks and all this stuff, and the energy in that place gets up, and that's a hard thing for an offense to handle. And I thought they really impacted the game in that way.
All right. Any other questions? No. Coach, anything you want to leave us with?
Happy New Year, T-Bird Nation. Enjoy and be safe out there.